Alright, let's draw this cute little touch marker dessert, a kiwi mint egg tart. We're starting with a sketch. First, draw a kind of flattened cylinder. That's going to be the tart crust. On top of that, use the cylinder's top surface as the base to draw a cone shape. Now, chop off the tip of the cone. That's the outer shape of the tart filling. Inside, divide the filling into spiraling, rising lines. Think of it like a pile of thin noodles or vermicelli swirling upward. Next, we'll add a kiwi slice on top. From this angle, it's going to look like a thin ellipse. Then, pop on 2 mint leaves, one large, one small. Go back to the tart crust and draw those cute little scalloped edges from the baking mold. And just refine the swirl shape a little bit before we move on. Now, time for inking. If you want, you can skip straight to the coloring part. That starts at 2:30. The main thing here is to make sure the swirls are clear. So the layers look like strands of noodles wrapping around. You can skip drawing every single tiny strand and just suggest the overall swirl direction. Quick fun fact, the difference between a tart and a pie is really just where the filling goes. In tarts, the filling sits right on top. In pies, it's all wrapped inside. And tart crusts aren't always flaky puff pastry. Sometimes they're more like cake. It's kind of like the difference between dumplings and siumai. Okay, back to the kiwi. Add those little seeds. Outline them in black so they really pop. Also, thicken the lines where 2 lines meet. It gives more weight to the drawing. Now let's color. Starting with the filling, use a yellow-orange tone, pulling the color from the edges toward the center. Here's the main shading tip. Think about where the upper swirl layer casts shadows on the layer below, and also where layers overlap. Leave some white areas uncolored. Vary your line lengths and leave small gaps so it feels airy. Then, go back with a more saturated, deeper orange to hit the darkest shadows, especially between layers and where they cross. You can even add tiny broken lines in a slightly different color to give more texture. When you're happy with the shadows, use a low saturation bright yellow in the highlight zones, basically the white spots we left earlier. And yes, you can leave some pure white too. Then, take a high saturation bright yellow and deepen the edge of the highlight area. It'll make the light pop even more. For the kiwi slice, lay down a light green base. Then add darker green speckles around the seeds. Layer in a yellow-green tone for more natural color spots. Punch up the saturation and add a few more bright yellow-green flecks. For the mint leaves, fill in the base green, then deepen the leaf veins. Add a touch of bright yellow for freshness. And a bit of dark green for subtle shading. Now, the tart crust, I went with a chocolate brown here, just for contrast with the yellow filling, but a golden yellow crust is actually more common. Don't fill in the scalloped edge completely, let it breathe. Shade the side of the cylinder so the edges are darker than the middle. Deepen the shadows where the mold edge curves in. Finally, use a bit of black for the deepest shadow accents. To tie the colors together, glaze a layer of yellow over the whole crust. Then, use a vivid orange yellow to bring up the overall contrast. And pop in a little more yellow where needed. And there we go, done. Remember, tart fillings can be anything: fruit, nuts, cream, jam, even cookies. This is where you get to be creative. And the crust can be puff pastry, sponge cake, or even a mini pancake. Mix and match to invent your own delicious-looking tart.